This is how you use barbed insert fittings with drip irrigation tubing. There are two main ways to use barbed insert fittings. First, you use them to connect polytubing. To turn a corner, split a line, cap off a line, extend a run, or make a repair. The second is for setting up emitters to water plants with 1/4 or 1/8 inch micro tubing. You punch a hole in the poly mainline, insert a barbed fitting, usually a coupling, and run the micro tubing out to the plant. Let's go in depth on using barbed fittings for connecting tubing together. Then after that, I'll go in depth on punching 1/4 inch micro tubing into your mainline. And I'll finish the video with mistakes to avoid and some pro tips you should know. Here's an in-depth guide on how to use barbed fittings to connect poly tubing together. So with barbed insert fittings, it can be pretty tough to get the tubing on over the barb. So to make it easier, I'm going to dip the end of my tubing into a cup of very hot water for a few moments. This will soften up the tubing a lot and make it significantly easier to push on over the barb. The trick is instead of pushing the barb straight in, you walk or wiggle it back and forth, and the barbs will bite onto the inside of the tubing. This requires much less strength than pushing it directly into the tubing. Push it all the way in until it meets the stop. We also have a tool called the coupling insert tool that makes inserting the first end of a barbed fitting easy. The second end is always easier to insert because you can get a better handle on the tubing. When installing 1/4 inch barbed fittings into micro tubing, these barbed fittings don't require clamps, but that can be painful to insert barehanded. Warming up the 1/4 inch tubing helps a lot, but there are also some punches and tools that make it much easier to insert the first barb, which is always the hardest. I'll leave links in the description to tools that can help you insert these barbed tubing fittings more easily. The most common question I get when it comes to barbed insert fittings is, do I need to use a clamp to clamp down my barbed insert fittings? A lot of the newer barbed insert fittings, particularly for 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch sizes, come with extra large barbs. And when they're used in drip irrigation, they're going to be running at low pressure. 1/4 inch barbed fittings never require clamps. 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch most of the time won't require clamps, but watch out for fittings that have shallow barbs, and 1 inch will always require clamps. Take for example, this 3/4 inch pipe. You can see the barbs ridged throughout the tubing. That is a very secure fit. The barbed insert fittings for 1 inch tubing and without the large barb are very easy to put in and pull out. You can do it by hand. We didn't have to use any of the tips or tricks you see out there about heating up the tubing. It just kind of slid right over it very easily. And that's because it doesn't have the extra large barbs. In fact, you can't even see the ridges from this like you could in the 3/4 inch. And that also means it's equivalently easy to pull it apart. That didn't take much pressure at all, and the same would apply in your irrigation system. It wouldn't take much pressure to blow the tubing off the fitting. So on barbed insert fittings without the large barb and almost always on 1 inch above, you're going to need to use the clamps. But for low pressure drip irrigation tubing in the 1/8 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, and 3/4 inch sizes that come with the extra large barb, you can get away without using the clamps as long as you're running at drip irrigation pressure, which is about 10 to 30 psi. Now, one thing to keep in mind, not all 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch barbed insert fittings come with those extra large barbs. So keep an eye out. If yours comes with shallow barbs like this one, you're still going to want to use your clamps. There is one case where it may be worth it to use clamps on 1/4 inch drip irrigation fittings, and that's in cases of extreme heat, like what we see in the American Southwest. This is particularly the case for goof plugs, which tend to have a smaller barb than most other 1/4 inch fittings. But I'd always recommend either burying your micro tubing and keeping it out of direct sunlight, and program your system to come on in the early morning or late evening. This will most likely eliminate your need for clamps. Excessive pressure can also cause fittings to pop off or improper tubing types. So check your pressure regulator and make sure it's under 30 pounds per square inch. Vinyl polytubing, the more flexible and malleable version of polytubing, should never be used under these circumstances. But if you for some reason can't make these changes, you can use the 1/4 inch ratchet clamps. Just know that vinyl tubing is not UV treated and will break down quickly in the sun. That goes into another question that I get asked pretty often, and that's, can I reuse my barbed insert fittings? Technically, yes, they're not compromised when they're connected to tubing. However, as you saw, it's very easy to remove the 1 inch fittings from the tubing. The same's not true for the 3/4 inch and 1/2 inch with the extra large barb. I'm not sure I would be able to get this apart, at least not without really warming up the tubing and spending more time than I'd want to wiggling it back and forth until it comes off. So technically it is reusable, but it's not necessarily easily reusable. To reuse barbed insert fittings with the extra large barb, you can try heating the tubing to soften it up. That does make it easier to remove. You can also cut it away, but you got to be careful not to damage your fitting. And if it's a hot day and it's nice and soft and you think you can get it off, do keep in mind that you're not necessarily going to have the leverage that you need to do so. If this is in somewhere on the ground or even below ground and you have an awkward angle to try to reach it, it's going to be that much more difficult to remove it. And there's always the structural integrity of the tubing to keep in mind as well. Warm poly tubing can stretch to the point of damage if pulled hard enough. It's compromised and you wouldn't want to run water through that at that point or you're probably going to get a leak. Because barb fittings can be difficult to remove from tubing, they are also prone to snapping in half while attempting to remove the tubing. That's one of the advantages to lock-style fittings like our twist and lock fittings, is they're much easier to reuse, and that's handy in a residential garden where you might be reconfiguring things or making new beds or moving your beds around year after year. You can easily disconnect the tubing from the fitting without compromising the tubing or the fitting and reconnect them anywhere that you need them. This is why we include twist and lock fittings in all of our Drip Depot irrigation kits. Probably the biggest advantage to barb fittings is their lower cost, particularly on the 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch sizes when you don't need to use clamps. That lower cost and the ability to go without clamps can be a big advantage on a big commercial project that's going to call for hundreds or even thousands of fittings, or on a residential garden that's static and not going to change in the following years. Sometimes you will see folks clamping 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch barb fittings even if they have deep barbs, and that could be on the commercial end in hot regions where they may be burying the tubing and want to have a redundancy to ensure there is no chance a fitting can pop off. As the larger a project is, the more likely something rare like a deep barbed fitting popping off can occur when you least expect it. Let's go in depth on how to use 1/4 inch barbed fittings to punch micro tubing into main lines. Yes, you can use one to connect tubing of the same size to both sides just like you would any fitting, but these can also be used to connect smaller micro tubing, 1/4 inch in this case, to a larger polytubing mainline by using a punch. You simply punch the hole, insert one side of the fitting into your micro tubing, then press the other end of the fitting directly into the punched hole. A lot of people ask for tees or similar types of fittings that allow them to connect micro tubing to a larger polytubing mainline, and they're available, but those tees are significantly more expensive than simply using a barbed insert fitting like this. And the main thing people worry about who don't have a lot of experience with it is leaking. But if you're running at the proper pressure for drip irrigation, 10 to 30 psi, you shouldn't experience any leaking with your 1/4 inch barbed insert fittings. What's nice about this barbed punch method is you can use any kind of 1/4 inch barbed fitting. That means elbows, tees, even crosses can be used to split microtubing in any direction. The reputation that these get for leaking really comes from them being used incorrectly, particularly running at too high of pressure, which we see a lot from installers who are new to drip irrigation. They don't know that it needs to be at 30 psi or less. This is a simple fix. Just grab a pressure regulator that regulates under 30 psi and add it to your water line right before your polytubing adapter. And from improper punching techniques or using something that is not the punch, we've seen folks use drills, nails, and similar type tools that are close to the right size, but not necessarily the right size. And with any kind of plumbing or irrigation, it is important that you use tools and components of the right size or you could experience leaking. I've made a video all about the different types of punches and tools available to make your install easier that you can find in the top right or description below. I recommend checking out your options, as the bigger the system install, the more valuable a quality punch will be for you. If you're punching into the wall of 1/2 inch or larger tubing, for this you want to use a 1/4 inch punch, and it's best if it's not dull. If you've had a 1/4 inch punch that you've used for hundreds or even thousands of holes, it might be getting dull and creating a bigger hole than what you actually want. And that's a quick fix. A new sharp punch will usually get you fixed up and ready to go there. And you can plug the holes from where you move drippers with a goof plug, because goof plugs have bigger barbs than drippers. The best way to punch holes for your 1/4 inch fittings in a larger polytubing mainline is do it when the tubing is cold. Tubing is warm, it becomes very soft and flexible, and this can cause it to bend and stretch instead of making a nice clean hole. It's best if your punch just kind of pops through the tubing. So when it's cold, it'll pop through the tubing instead of stretching it and bending it. And if you're using the right size punch, it'll create the right size hole. Now you might get a drip come out of that punched hole the first time or two you run the irrigation, but the thermal expansion of the tubing is gonna seal it up around these barbs. And when the water pressure starts, it's gonna push the lip of the fitting right up against that punched hole and create a watertight seal when you're at 30 psi or less. But interestingly enough, there is actually one exception to a 1/4 inch barbed fitting used for teeing microtubing that does actually use a clamp. It's a micro saddle fitting. These are nice because they are self-piercing, so no need for a hole punch. But because it's self-piercing and there's no barb on the inserted end, it uses a clamp to keep the saddle secured. These are great if you need to periodically remove a microtubing line, as these micro saddles are removable and reusable. Though these micro saddles are spendy and unnecessary in most situations, like running a dripper to a plant or adding a drip line to a raised bed. Most leaking from the 1/4 inch fittings occurs when the fitting is inserted into the hole first, then the 1/4 inch tubing is attached. Movement can enlarge the hole and create a gap for water to leak through. Usually this will be a small leak, but a leak nonetheless. I've made a few videos in the past showing me insert the barb first, albeit carefully, and I had success. But I found that because everybody is in different conditions during installation, it's best to insert the 1/4 inch fitting into the 1/4 inch tubing first, then pop the 1/4 inch fitting into the main line to eliminate that risk. That's also a great reason to make sure your 1/4 inch microtubing is secured and tucked away, like held down with stakes or buried under mulch. If the microtubing is out and gets yanked, it could cause a leak. To illustrate why the barb isn't the primary force to prevent leaking, commercial irrigation uses the spot spitter, where 1/8 inch tubing is just pushed straight into a 1/8 inch hole in the main line. No fitting at all. The tubing itself expands around the hole and makes the seal. That's an extreme example, but it shows that the barb on a 1/4 inch insert is mostly there to keep the tubing from pulling out, not to make the connection leak-free. It's also important to punch the hole in the direction that you want the tubing to be directed in. If it's off and the fitting has to tilt to get your tubing where you want it, there is a chance it'll leak at some point. I've got 2 tips so that you can get the most out of your 1/4 inch fittings. The first one is, I understand not everyone can install their system when it's cold outside. You might not be able to be up at 4 in the morning and out there working on the irrigation, or out there at 9 or 10 o'clock at night when things are finally cooling down. In that case, you can install all of your mainline first. It's really nice to unroll tubing and connect the mainline poly tubing while it's warm anyway. Make sure to cap off your mainline, and then what you can do is just run some water through the line. Tap water, well water, and most water sources are cool, and they're going to immediately cool off the tubing when it runs through. But it also weighs down the tubing a little bit, allowing you to do your punch without accidentally moving your tubing all over the place or getting it out of position. The weight of the water helps hold it in place and stabilize it for the punch. Another is something most people do by instinct, but every now and then I'll see someone struggling with it. And that's, as you apply downward pressure with the punch, squeeze the tubing, give it a little bit more resistance. And this works to make it easier when it's cold or hot. Not only does squeezing it provide more resistance to make it easier to punch, but it also prevents the mistake of accidentally punching through both sides of the tubing at once. If you accidentally punch through both walls of 1/2 inch mainline tubing, you can't put a goof plug on the backside and a 1/4 inch fitting on the front. They won't both fit. The easy fix, especially if you have twist and lock fittings, is to cut out the damaged section and replace it. If it's far from an existing fitting, just splice in a fresh piece of mainline.